on the 27th of June 2010, I released the very first episode of The Legend of Dragoon. That was more than 5 years ago now. It was my very first Let's Play video. I basically started Let's Plays because of this series, because I wanted to show off this game, which I'd really loved as a child. I actually, throughout my teen years, I went by Legend of Dragoon related usernames on the internet. I was called Divine Dragoon, except with randomized capital letters because I was 13. That happens to everyone, doesn't it? So, yeah, everyone has that, awkward email address that they had when they were 13. So, I wasn't able to really talk about this up until now because the Divine Dragoon is a concept that only got introduced a few episodes ago. But yeah, that used to be my username all over the internet. And now we've come this far. It was 2010 when we started this. Mid-2011, we started Disc 2 about a year later, after many trials and tribulations. Then Disc 3, we started about a year and a half after that, in October 2012. Disc 4, more than 3 years after the start of Disc 3, here we are. Here we are in the year 2015. We're going to finish this over 2015 and 2016. We're going to finish this Let's Play, which has covered the entire course of my life online, I guess. It's this is, if you go over early episodes, we have I have so many different styles of commentary over the time, because it's basically the evolution of me as a commentator. You go through each disc and everything's a bit different because I've learned new things for each one. So welcome to Chapter 4, Moon and Fate. I'm really excited to get this going. I really want to finish this in one big burst. I want to keep going. I want to keep the momentum train going. And over the course of the next couple of months, completely finish this Let's Play. So, yeah, welcome to the desert. Welcome to the Death Frontier. We're, I believe, looking for a place called Ulara. But for a while we're going to be wandering in this desert, getting cool things, which is also important. And finding out plot. The plot really picks up. End of Disc 3 and Disc 4, the plot it just picks up all together. So you can see there's all these treasure chests, we can't reach them. There's quicksand around the place, and if you drop into the right ones, you can sort of get the treasure chests that are hidden here. Yeah, Disc 2 and Disc 3 were, they were great. They had a lot of cool characters. They had a lot of, they introduced half of our party. But plot-wise, it probably could have skipped from Disc 1 to Disc 4. If you just added in a sentence saying, we caught up to Lloyd, and that last episode of Disc 3. But Disc 4 is a lot different. It's where all of the plot threads finally start to come together. We're going to get a lot of cool stuff. Oh, my first edition of the new disc, and I mess it up. But to be fair, that's because I never play Hashel. I'm sort of getting in. Oh yeah. That's Bone Crush. That's Kongol's Ultimate Edition, which he learned a couple of episodes ago, but I haven't had the chance to show off because last episode there was no combat. There was only revelations. So this is an area where the combat is not quite random encounter. You can see I was standing still. I actually just ran into one of those little pea-hat looking things on the overworld, and it makes us fight these guys. Where this is a good place for leveling up. At some point around here there's an oasis which heals you up, and you can sort of grind endlessly there. But we're actually really strong. We breezed through the bosses that I thought we'd have so much trouble with in Disc 3. I need to stop standing still because then it just gets you caught. So, oh, no, you're not going to get me, jumping sand creature. Sand whale. This is not the time for you. So you can see there's lots of things to... Whoop! There's little shadows in the ground that you can see when the sort of little sand whale things are coming for you. It's all about... This area is all about watching where you're going, was what I was about to say, and then hilariously, I didn't watch where I was going. But that's okay, because it means we cannot carry any more items. Oh, I wish I could mod this game for the singular mod of increasing the space in my item inventory. Like, that's all I wish for. I'm gonna get rid of these attack balls, to be honest. I mean, they can be pretty good, but I rarely use items, which is why items tend to build up in my inventory, is because our additions are strong enough that switching to Miranda and pummeling them with items is rarely necessary because we're awesome. So yeah, over here is where you'll land if you run into any quicksand nearby here. I'm going to pretend I did that on purpose to get that treasure chest. That was all part of my cunning plan. I didn't accidentally run into something bad. It was all according to plan. Alright, so the important thing here is I'm definitely not lost, and you definitely know exactly where we're going. Yeah, I do know. I'm joking partly. I do know vaguely where we're going. I'm just sort of showing off the different screens around here, even if they're not particularly different here. I'm sort of covering all the area. I know vaguely where the place we want to go is. Oh yeah, and that's I don't believe I got to show that in the previous thing, the full version of that. That's Blazing Dynamo. That's Dance Ultimate Edition. So yeah, we're starting to get the rewards of all of our edition training that I've done mostly off screen over time. So let's just head to the right. Yeah, there we go. This is the way out. There are a couple of other treasure chests there, but I don't recall there being enough interesting stuff to warrant. Let's go into this whirlpool, because I think it leads you to somewhere different than where the previous whirlpool did. Because obviously falling into quicksand is the premier way of traveling here in the desert. You should try it each time you're in a desert. And yeah, it leads us to this oasis. It's refreshing. Whew, after all of that work, we can have a nice rest. What were the Winglies in Olarido? Alright, so yeah, it sort of randomly skipped. It sort of randomly skipped from the end of Emperor Diaz stuff at Disc 3 to us traveling in the desert. But the reason for this is just being explained now. Is Rose is going to the Winglies to basically for advice, to figure out what's going on now that she knows all of this stuff about the Moonchild. And everyone else is tagging along. Yeah, that's right, Miranda is an expert at slapping people. Miranda is the world expert at slapping people. She's very good at it. But yeah, Rose is like, I can do it all by myself, but we've got the power of friendship. Yeah, if you remember from the previous episode, we discovered that Rose is the black monster who Dart has been searching for so that he can kill the black monster the whole time. It was a bit awkward, but we discovered the black monster is actually on the side of good. She's been destroying the so-called Moonchild every 108 years for the purpose of stopping the annihilation of the world. So, you know, fair enough, Rose. But it does make things a bit awkward in the party. That was... I'm not going to pretend that one was intentional. I was just not looking where I was going. seems to be 3 exits. Yeah, I think it's because. Yeah, I think it's because there's a whole bunch of quicksand around the place. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to end the episode here. I'm going to do a bit of scouting so that I don't get lost during the next episode, and then we're going to run our way through this desert and out into the next town in the next exciting episode of The Legend of Dragoon. I will see you then.